found the Texas Steampunk Connection, your source for steampunk event information in the great free state of Texas.
We also discuss books, films, comics, and games.
Also, we enjoy visiting with the local steampunk luminaries.
I'm Flavio.
I'm Erika.
And I'm Thax,
your
hosts.
Thank you for tuning in, and now on to the episode.
Hello, this is Texas Steampunk Connection, Season 2, Episode 8. It is currently April 24th, but of course I'll probably be releasing this in a couple of more days, so it's not going to be exactly 24th when you're listening. So welcome back to us.
It is Monday. We've just come from a very busy weekend.
Yes, it was the most excellent adventure.
And we're going to tell you all about it.
Mm-hmm. But before that, you have something on your mind.
Yes, I do. As, of course, you would have remembered on Monday, if not by the time you're listening to this weekend, Saturday, was the 25th anniversary of Earth Day, I think. It was Earth Day, where we are reminded that we are destroying the planet. And it was also a huge protest across the country, referred to as the March of Science.
That was March for Science.
You're right, March for Science.
And not a protest, not political. Quote, unquote.
Oh, I'm getting political today.
Oh, are you?
I don't see how we cannot, given that we are talking about steampunk, which is a science fiction movement.
True. And
I would imagine that others like myself have a certain amount of respect for actual science.
I like science. Science has done a lot for us.
As part of the steampunk movement and part of our lives. And so today I'm going to get a little political here, if that's all right.
I'm okay with it. So
go for it.
Any listeners out there who feel that they might be offended, you might want to fast forward.
Skip the next 10 minutes or what you got to do. But here we go. March for Science happened this week and Saturday, where according to some articles I saw, hundreds of thousands of self-professed science supporters turned out at over 600 cities across the country, including Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles and Houston, where we were. And
really, in Houston? Surprised we didn't run into more traffic.
We were not there, but that's the next story. But across the country, marchers for science came out in solidarity for true facts and the scientific method and belief in science and things that the science has established as facts, like global warming,
climate change, if you will.
That's what the kids are calling it now, right? In the face of an administration that enjoys talking about how fake facts are and ignoring or denying climate change. I'm just seeing an article here about Jeff Sessions, who doesn't understand the necessity of science and killed the National Commission on Forensic Science. And since he's like the top man in charge of law enforcement, forensic science is right,
that's what helps solve crime.
Part of his job. I could go on and on about.
And just to tie it back to steampunk, forensic science did get its start with Scotland Yard in the 1800s.
Yeah, they had all kinds of different methods.
You know what? Who still believes in forensic science? Scotland Yard.
Forensic scientists, maybe.
Probably them. I would hope. But if you were a part of the March for Science, you're awesome. Tell us what happened. Tell us what your experience was. We're only kind of getting it secondhand through the flawed media. I'm sure you didn't see much about it on the news. I did see it mentioned, but they spent more time talking about the local 10K marathon in Austin, which I guess was important, but doesn't seem like it's got the same impact. If you weren't there to participate in the March for Science, and even if you were, Bill Nye, the science guy who's developed into the spokesperson, for the scientific community, did a great speech in Washington, D.C. Well, a good speech. It was obviously written out ahead of time and didn't flow terribly well. I had to listen to it twice to get what he was saying. I don't know. Maybe I don't handle big words well enough.
So it's very scientific? What he was saying?
It was
a lot of fancy words, or
yeah, it had words with more than a few syllables. Maybe I'm just the foolish one. But a good speech. I love Bill Nye, especially when he gets his hackles up in interviews. That's where I think he really shines. And you can see those on YouTube videos as well.
I hear he's got a new series on Netflix, a new science fiction.
It just came out today. Yeah. So that's, I'm sure, not a coincidence. So, yeah, Bill Nye has a show on Netflix where he is going to discuss and challenge questions about science on Netflix. I'm going to watch it, of course. So should you.
I plan to, yeah.
And then, when you finish listening to his speech, across the country in Los Angeles, Adam Savage was giving another speech.
Adam Savage, the guy from Mythbusters.
Right.
In case you don't know.
The spokesperson for geekdom, really, one of the geek gods, and also a much better speech maker, I have to say, in this weekend. Made a great speech that is not as well recorded in the video I saw, but fantastic. He spent a good amount of time establishing what the scientific method is and why it is awesome, and it was great. It was a great speech.
The scientific method in how they go about proving things, right?
Right, and how even though you make mistakes,
that's how you learn.
The scientific method that allows for those and allows you to correct those mistakes by doing more science. And it was a great weekend for visibility of Americans' appreciation of science. I'd like to think the majority of Americans.
I would hope so, yeah. I mean, it just boggles the mind how some people don't believe in facts.
It boggles my mind that
and those people are in charge of the country.
A large chunk, I'm not going to say a majority, because I believe in America still, but unreasonably large chunk of America has given up on scientifically backed facts.
And we're also backsliding in some cases.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people out there who believe the earth is flat now. Or something. There's flat earthers out there. I don't believe this.
And the media has treated science as like an opinion, so they have to show both sides of an opinion, when we're not talking about opinions anymore, right? This is facts versus people who don't believe in facts. And the media has given
them equal time,
given a platform and validation for people who just don't believe in,
which is that's just
facts.
Crazy. That's just crazy to me. It boggles my mind completely.
Yeah, like CNN, if you're going to put a climate change denier on, be sure and put local wackadoo in the little sub caption there underneath their name and face.
Did you see the article where Bill Nye tears into CNN because they put a science denier on their panel discussion on science?
No. Did they subtitle it with local wackadoo?
No.
Well, they need to.
And Bill Nye ripped into him, because that's what he's good at. Giving hell.
Yeah, I mean that's people need to remember the definition of a fact. Not an opinion. It is not an opinion. It is a fact. It is something that's provable. Something that is known.
Right.
The alternative to facts are not facts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just want to plug another podcast real quick here, as long as we're being political.
Okay.
There's a podcast called The Bernie Sanders Show, and there's only 4 episodes so far, but the second episode, he does have an interview with Bill Nye that is really good. And Bill Nye makes some very important points about how science can reduce America's dependence on fossil fuels. Science can give industries and employment to many people whose industries and employment have disappeared as a result of various corporate decision-making processes.
I saw a news article or an interview with Bill Nye where he was talking about exactly the same thing.
Right.
I wonder if it was the same. Well, this was a podcast.
It was a podcast where he was interviewing with Bernie Sanders, but I think it's a talking point that Bill Nye has found that he thinks is going to be able to reach some corporate plutocrat types, that you can make money off of.
You got to speak money to them. That's
right. You can make money off of reducing America's dependence on foreign fuel sources. You can make money on solar panel factories. You can make money on wind farms. You can make money on these industries that are coming up. And a lot of money. So that's something that apparently the wealthy oligarchs who run this country, that's the only thing they care about. So let's keep hitting them in the wallet because that's the only thing they understand.
And Bill isn't just talking about in the future. That technology is in existence and available right now.
It just needs to be harnessed and available.
And implemented in large scale.
If we put money into creating a modern structure for delivering power, and we put money into solar, wind farms, hydroelectric, and geothermal. That is it. That is all we need to power the country right now with the technology we have right now. In the article, or in the interview I was listening to him, he actually made the point that if Donald Trump wanted to make a legacy for himself as a president, if he wanted another 4 years, if he wanted an 8-year term, he would need to get started on these things right now, because those are the things that millennials are voting for. And if he proved himself in this first 4 years doing that, he would get a second term.
I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen.
Personally, I'm not a Trump supporter, and so there was a certain amount of horror deep inside when I heard that. But really, yeah, that's not going to happen.
But if any president decided to do that, it would be good for them.
It would be a legacy, right? For whatever president finally does that, and assuming we don't die in a bath of nuclear fire here in the next few days. Yeah.
Hopefully I'll get this podcast out before then.
Thanks for listening.
And just on a really quick side note, I think in the first or second episode, we had decided that Bernie Sanders was steampunk. Because we were doing steampunk or not, and he said Bernie Sanders, and he fit the criteria. Because he was old, the Victorian.
Because he's at least 100 years old. I didn't really mean that.
I know. I just thought I'd point that out. That was kind of funny.
Okay, have I made my point? I think so. Go look up March for Science. Listen to some interviews.
Science is good. It's gotten us this far so much. I mean, granted, some science is bad if used improperly, but anything's bad if used improperly.
Well, that's not the point.
I know, but science is good.
You know what's worse than science used for bad?
Is not using it at all.
Witch hunts?
Yeah, witch hunts.
Superstition.
Backsliding in beliefs.
The Dark Ages. That sort of stuff. Yeah. I had one more thing I was going to say, but now I forgot.
Sorry, I derailed you. My bad.
Okay, so I think that's all. So that's all I've got to say about the March of Science.
I will say I support science. So.
Do you support Nikola Tesla?
Yes.
Do you support Thomas Edison?
Well, kinda, yes.
Do you support the things that Thomas Edison stole from real scientists?
Yes, okay.
And see, he showed the oligarchs how it's done.
Right, he took science and made money from it.
Scientists and steal their inventions and make lots of money off of them.
I did not expect
Koch
this to
brothers,
go that way.
you can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, so if anything, follow the Thomas Edison model.
There's no such thing as clean coal. For F's sake.
I'm
laughing because of that one cartoon French movie that we saw.
As all of the petroleum invested companies, you put yourself in the shoes of the companies that went out of business when we stopped hunting whales and using whale oil for fuel. That's basically
those poor fishermen, though.
Those poor whalers. I know. What did they do for careers? We put them out of work. And they had a fine family tradition of many generations of hunting whales, and all of us heartless people put them out of business. So yeah, let's just say that the dinosaur oil needs to go the way of whale oil.
There you go.
And we can move forward into the future.
I mean, they weren't really thinking very forward either. I mean, whales are becoming hard to catch or extinct, in danger of being extinct.
And there are people that
once you kill the last whale, they're out of business anyway. So I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
And peak oil.
And you remember Star Trek 4?
Oh yeah.
The whales are the only thing keeping the giant spaceships from.
It was a space whale.
I
guess.
Something.
Yes, that the whales are keeping us safe.
The sooner we stop using fossil fuels, the sooner the Middle East collapses. If that's important to you. I don't know.
I don't know either.
That's they're struggling as it is because of the low cost of oil right now. But
really, the gas prices have been creeping up recently.
I noticed that this weekend.
Yep.
Okay, so we're getting off topic. Let's drop this. Thank you for your time. If you tuned out, you can come back in now.
We support science.
We're going to talk about other fun things.
Yes, last weekend we had a most excellent adventure in Houston. We went to Kurious, the Cirque du Soleil, Kurious.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for months.
And we finally went.
Yay!
And oh my God, it was amazing.
Awesome.
It was really, really fun. We had a good time. We got up there earlier in the day, so we were able to kind of enjoy some of the other cultural offerings that Houston has.
Yeah, there's a really good pit barbecue place.
Mm-hmm. We had great lunch at the
I think it was just called the Pit, wasn't it?
the pit room.
Yeah, the Pit Room.
Yes, we had a fantastic lunch at the pit room, and that was wonderful.
It was much food.
We were utterly
so much
defeated.
food.
And then we went to the Manil Art Gallery.
Art galleries.
Along with the Cy Twombly Art Gallery and the Rothko Chapel. That was very interesting.
Which are all free museums or free art exhibits.
Yep.
Because we is Poe.
I gotta say, I the first museum we went to, I don't get it.
The Cy Twombly?
I don't understand it. I just saw. Yeah, I don't know what I saw, but I don't get it.
You saw a lot of things. I remember having big conversations about it. It was, what do you call it? The kind of art.
Splatter art. I don't know. It's
Modern.
crap.
Yeah. It was modern art.
Throw stuff on the wall and see what sticks. I don't know.
That's
I've seen my friends'
Abstract.
children. I've seen my friends' children scribble on the wall and not look any different than that.
it was abstract
For
art.
for me, what made the exhibit was the space itself. The rooms were very large and expansive, and they used the indirect lighting very effectively to create a mood and organize the art in such a way that each room sort of had its own color scheme or theme. And so that made it interesting for me. It wasn't my favorite art, but it was well displayed, I will say that. And the Rothko Chapel, I did not like.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I had mixed feelings about it. The chapel itself was kind of cool, but there was these women that were standing there guarding the doors or watching us or whatever. It just seemed
They
very
were like dressed like nuns in a Catholic school.
Yeah.
They were waiting for them to pull out a ruler and smack you.
Yeah, and I'm not Catholic, so that's not really a fear of mine. But
And there were
they're
these
just weird.
dark gray and black canvases on the wall that
You're supposed to stare at or something.
I'm not really
meditate
sure.
with.
And then if you looked up at the ceiling, that what looked like to me sort of a aperture of a camera or microscope.
I didn't even notice that.
And I kept glancing up and thinking, okay, this is an art exhibit that makes me feel as though God is some sort of photographer of miniature things or mad scientist.
Macro photography.
And we're just bugs under his lens. And I didn't enjoy that feeling, and the disapproval radiating from the Guardian ladies made that a very uncomfortable space for me.
For me, I didn't take away that at all. But that was, I came there with a certain expectations as a meditation space, and for me, the intent was to sit quietly and let go of thoughts and considerations of the room and sort of, meditate. So the fact that there were weird little ladies in the corners, the idea was to
filter them out.
to just let the thoughts of them go and let thoughts of the other people moving around in the room go, which was kind of challenging.
Yeah, I can't meditate. I've never been a meditator personally because I can't shut my mind off. I know that's the idea behind meditation, but I can't do it.
Well, that's why I liked how stark the room was. Those big framed
It took away the distractions.
slate just fields.
Yeah.
Concentrating on those made it easier to.
See, it had the opposite effect for me. I was like, why is this place is just so dull and boring?
So for me, the high point of the whole art museum tour, there was an exhibit on the surrealists.
I like the surrealists.
In the Manil Gallery proper, and I loved. For me, the surrealist stuff really played well into the Kurious show. There were a lot of similar visual elements and kind of absurd, slightly frightening at times imagery. but more accessible because it wasn't abstract. It was just things that were out of proportion, or
Yes.
a person with a bird cage for a head or something like that. That just kind of, it was very interesting. And then they also had at the Menil, they had what's called, let me see if I can find the word, Wunderkammer, the Cabinet of Curiosities.
Right. Yeah.
So they had,
There was that whole room, right?
in addition to the surrealist art, they had a room that was objects that the surrealists themselves had owned, or similar to objects that the surrealists owned. And these were found objects. These were tribal artifacts, masks, statues from Africa, ceremonial necklaces made out of dead birds from some Aztec tribe or something. And these were all things that the surrealist artists would have kept in their homes as kind of their inspiration for their art. And some of the objects were actually owned by some of the surrealist artists, and some of them were just there to sort of suggest that this was the sorts of things that they would have
a museum
around
room,
them.
yeah.
And there was like a bear costume. What was that?
Bear hunter.
It's a bear
hunter
hunter's,
costume.
The word costume seems
Armor?
inappropriate.
Armor. So it was a
suit.
Suits, yeah.
So it was a suit with all these spikes and
Like a
the
porcupine.
helmet with spikes. It kind of reminded me of the guy from Hellraiser. And there were a lot of phallic objects
Porcupine Man.
and tribal masks and just a lot of really death masks from various cultures, just really interesting and weird stuff. And so it was really neat for me to see, here are the surrealists' Cabinet of Curiosities, and then we go to see a show called Cabinet of Curiosities. So
That was
for
a
me,
good
that was
connection,
just
yeah.
a fantastic, just a whole experience.
Yeah, I mean, not to say, when it comes to art, I can dig the surrealist art. Not every piece, but a lot of them I enjoyed. Apparently, Thax has something else to say.
That whole collection, I saw a lot of dongs. I walked away from that going, I'm going to go home. I'm going to become a great artist. I'm going to paint dicks everywhere.
Well,
It's going to be great.
You even saw that on the abstract on the walls. You saw, you were just seeing that everywhere.
Art is
I
all
said-
about your junk.
I said phallic, but Thax had to take it up a notch.
That wasn't the word we used while we were there.
That's right.
Hey, honey, look at the dick.
Oh my gosh.
And there were different rooms with different types of art in there. One of them was more modern art, and some of that was okay. Other was like, I don't understand, like, it's a blue square on a canvas slightly askew. What?
I'm not sure I got it either, but the fact that it was slightly askew fascinated and bothered me. Because you want to straighten it, but you can't because it is straight, but it's not straight.
Well, if that was what they wanted behind it, then it succeeded.
Maybe I don't know.
Art is supposed to create a response,
and that's a response.
That could be. So, well, anyway, the Manila Gallery. It's a nice area of town in Houston, and it's a pretty neighborhood for walking around in.
It was a large park area.
Nice, yeah. And when it was a beautiful day, it was kind of cloudy and rainy when we left Austin. But by the time we got to Houston, it cleared up, and it was cool and bright and very beautiful, and it was a really nice way to spend an afternoon.
Yep.
And we have our friend Amanda to thank for those things because
she was our native guide.
She spent a few years of her younger life in Houston and knew about these places, and she took us to them and showed us the good things that can be found in Houston. And it was great traveling with her. And she was very new to steampunk, and she went with us to Kurious, put together her outfit. Erika, you helped her and gave her some pieces, and
It came together really well.
she put together her first costume. I don't know if she'll continue to do steampunk stuff and evolve her look more, but she seemed really, really excited about it and had a really good time with us.
Indeed.
And that's always fun, getting somebody started in steampunk and watching them get excited about all the different ideas and elements that you can put into your costuming.
And so there are 4 of us when we finally got to the big top, the huge tent set up in the middle of the parking lot of
The Sam Houston
Sam
Raceway.
Houston Raceway.
Right,
Which is
and I believe there was races going on as well at the same time, for which we didn't go see because we were going to go see the show. But yes, so we got to the show and it was awesome.
we were the only ones there.
There
Dressed
were a
up.
couple of other people. We saw a few.
We saw a few people dressed in had gotten a top hat, or maybe have found a piece that sort of reflected a Victorian, but not like
Decked
full
out.
on steampunk.
Yeah, right.
Like we tried to accomplish. We were the only ones. Come on, Houston. What's up with that?
We got a few looks, and some people asked us questions. Are you in the show on occasion? That didn't happen a lot, but every once in a while we got that question.
Yeah, we didn't look that good.
Yeah, no,
But
not at all.
And our usher Quinn was very enthusiastic.
Very, very nice guy.
He was happy to see people dressed in steampunk too.
Yeah. So we
Which
had a
made
good
him
time.
excited about it.
Yeah, we had a good time visiting with him, and he took us down near the stage and took our picture, and just was real excited to see real live steampunks. So that was fun.
I think if he could, he would have taken us backstage, but he couldn't. He wasn't
Yeah.
allowed.
But just on the stage, just all the props and just visual cues that weren't really even used for the show, but somebody had built all of these wild things that you could look at,
Yeah.
close enough to the edge of the stage that you could really focus in on them when the show wasn't going on and take them all in. I still don't know why there were those big bowls with these puppet fish inside. They didn't have anything to do with the show. They were just weird.
I don't know. Maybe they were supposed to be where the music was coming from because there was a bunch of instruments on it underneath it.
Yeah. Yeah, the pedestal of the fishbowl had trombones and trumpets and a lot of brass
Yeah, I think I saw a
instrument
keyboard
pieces
on
and
there.
parts,
Yeah, it's like, but
and books and just little knickknacks. So the whole show, there's a big clock over the top of the stage, and it starts at 11:11, which is wish time,
Actually,
or it starts a little bit before 11:11.
because I look back at pictures that I'd taken. I didn't even realize the clock was there. Right. But going back, I'm like, oh, there's that clock. It only says 11:10.
Yeah, I think it might have said earlier because when we were sitting there waiting for it to start, that the guy was walking around in the stage and hooking things up, and you hear the electricals and sounds and everything. Every once in a while, you would hear a click, a gong sound. So I think that was the clock ticking.
Oh.
I think it was like maybe 3 or 4 times I heard that big noise.
So the narrative, as Quinn sort of told us later,
Yeah, he
'cause
kind
I
of helped
wasn't
explain
getting-
things. Yeah,
wasn't getting any of this. But apparently at 11:11, you make a wish, and this balding, middle-aged tinkerer of a man, the Seeker,
Kind of a mad scientist type.
yeah, he makes his wish to
maybe have his inventions come
Move
to life.
into another
or dimension. Yeah.
dimension, or find the world of creativity, or of
Fun? I don't know.
the whole creative world, rather than scientific.
The world of whimsy.
The
bit.
magic place where art and science come together.
Yeah. I guess I'm really not sure, but
Right, yeah.
that seems to be what we
I
want.
didn't understand the narrative either, but it was still like an awesome show. I mean, just the acts themselves, the acrobatics, the everything. I mean, even the invisible circus was hilarious and fun.
And
Yes.
every act we watched is in the narrative happening sometime between 11:11
And 11:12.
and 11:12.
Right.
So the whole show, the magical world that he is teleported in, and we get to observe as well, is happening in that 1 minute. Just kind of interesting, conceptually. Mm-hmm. I'm glad the show was more than a minute.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
It was a good long show.
Yeah, but it went by really quick. It didn't
did.
feel very long,
It
basically.
moved fast.
There was so many things to look at, and it was so easy to get overstimulated with all the stuff. I'd have to see it 2 more times to feel like I'd seen it.
And from a different angle, maybe. Yeah, we did not have the best of seats, but they were. But
Yeah, we got the cheap seats, and part of the stage was blocked by a big steel girder, which is a bummer. But
we saw most
We
a
saw
good
some
part of
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we're, spoilers, but of course, I think it's going to be finished in a couple of weeks. I think it's already gone or it's about to leave soon. So if you haven't got your tickets now, it's probably too late.
I think it's through the early part of May in Houston. And
Okay,
it's
so you still have a
moving
couple more
to,
weeks if you want to go check it out.
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, Quinn mentioned that they've planned the show according to temperature.
Not really.
Right, because the big top is not actually climate controlled.
No, yeah.
If you noticed. So
I was too.
Luckily, it was a nice day. in
yeah,
Houston.
exactly. So they're sort of taking the show from place to place within a certain temperature range for the comfort of the performers. So yeah, and the way they did it, they would have 2 or 3. In a lot of cases, they would have 2 or 3 sets of acrobats sort of doing the same thing, facing different directions on the stage, because it was almost a theater in the round. So they wanted to make, for the most part, they did a good job of making sure that if you were sitting kind of off on one side of the stage, you could still see the performance or some part of the performance. And like there was a bit where there was a guy that was swinging a girl around, not really a trapeze act because he was the trapeze basically. And they kind of moved their platform around several times and did variations on the same tricks several times so that everybody could see it from different angles. And the only things that they didn't do were there was a train that came out just dead up straight through the middle of the stage out to the front of the audience. So we just got to see the side of the train. We never got to see the front. And then all the creatures and people.
But you got to see the windows of the train as people are running through them.
Right. So that was kind of fun. And then there's a scene where this mechanical hand comes out and these sea anemone people do all these contortions.
They were magical eels.
Oh, okay.
Is that what it said in the book?
That's what it said in the book.
Okay.
Really, they were
contortionists.
Little bendy ladies dressed as funny fish.
Yeah, and so the hand was sort of, all the fingers were pointed out towards the front of the stage, and we only got to see the side of the hand, but it was a really interesting piece.
Yeah, it was like, I've seen, quote unquote, steampunk automaton hands that are made of just like the wooden hand model with like springs and stuff put on top of it. It looked like that, only, as big as your car.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the scientist comes back to the real world and he opens his suitcase, which was his cabinet of curiosities, and apparently miniature versions of everything in the show were inside the suitcase, but we didn't get to see it because we held it out to the front of the audience. Oh, it was empty.
He turned it to us too.
Oh, did he? Okay. I never saw it.
There was supposed to be some point to that it was empty. His cabinet was
he finished
empty,
playing with everything.
And then everyone behind him, all the curiosities coming up behind him and did a big dance number to end the show.
Yeah, because when he turned around, they all went, "Hey!" Like we're still here, kind of thing,
Okay.
So I guess like once he went into the magical world of discovery or whatever it is, they're always with him, which seems to be like a theme that is consistent through a lot of Cirque du Soleil shows. I haven't seen like all of them, but
this is my first one, personally. I've not seen any others.
I've seen a few.
It seemed like often they try to say, okay, let us show you this magical world, and now that you've seen it, you always have it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So which was your favorite act? What was your favorite one out of all of those amazing acts? Was there a favorite?
They were all awesome.
Yeah.
There were a couple that had me just agog with how impossible
how they do that.
Yeah. The balancing act. So this guy.
Oh, the rolling pins.
He balances on a plank on top of a oversized rolling pin
or cylinder or something.
And then that rolling pin is on top of a
bowling ball or something.
A cylinder, which is sort of like a post. Then he takes another post and puts it on top of the rolling pin.
Yep.
And then takes another rolling pin and puts it, 90 degrees from the first rolling pin on top of that post. And then he puts his plank on and he stands on all of them.
And they're all rolling in different directions.
Yep, so he's got it. It was and then he put it on a swing.
And then he puts like 2 more posts between the rolling pins and him on the swing, 30 feet in the air. It was crazy. I'm like, how is that even... That's not possible. There must be strings or something. Now, at that point, he did have a safety harness.
Right, just in case.
because
Once he got to a certain height, he clipped in. But there was a lot of that act where he had no safety
Right.
crap on
equipment
us.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then the two guys that started out as Siamese twins, and then towards the end they separated and became two guys.
You mean that part where they took their shirts off?
Yes.
Whoa.
And they were doing the aerial silks.
Yeah.
And swinging
They were
around.
really
and there
good.
was no safety
nets,
harness on them
yeah.
at all. It was just whatever they were holding themselves up by these long,
By these
flowing
big sides of beef.
strands of silk.
They made it look effortless. I mean, yeah, they were. Yeah.
That was pretty amazing.
I think for me, one of my favorite parts was where they had that little the table with the little like dinner scene or tea party scene or whatever.
That was
And
cool.
they did a little thing, and then all of a sudden the guy starts doing a chair balancing act, and then then at a certain point they point up, and there's another scene above and it starts over exactly what they did. And at first it looked like maybe it was a hologram or projection or
Right,
something.
the lighting was so
Yeah.
that you weren't sure if that was real because they looked exactly like the people on the ground,
Right, and they repeated the exact same movements.
but upside down.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they're real people. There's somebody completely different doing different things up there.
Because the guy on the stack of chairs on the bottom and this guy from the stack of chairs on the top are interacting with each other.
Right.
It was so weird.
Yeah, that was well done. I mean, especially with the look. I mean, it's like, is that a hologram? What is that? And all of a sudden, no, they're actually people hanging upside down, acting out the same scene that they did below.
It was amazing. It was just amazing.
And she's, like every act every act, it's Cirque du Soleil, so they're jumping around and flying and skipping. It's like gravity does not work the same for these people.
No, it doesn't. Those people, like the guys on the trampoline, they were some kind of fish or something. I don't know. But the big guy, that huge trampoline in the middle, I think it was the start of the second half. Those guys went pretty far up there. They bounced like nobody's business.
Oh, that's because they were double bouncing.
But still, man, holy crap, they were going up high.
Even without the trampoline, those guys were like making the arms and
yeah. Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah, tossing each other around. Yeah.
They just flew. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, they were.
It was very
They were
cool.
no fear. Those guys were flying.
And we should mention all to the accompaniment of a live band and a live singer.
Oh yeah, awesome. They were good.
Who managed to loop their sounds in such a way that it kind of always went with whatever was going on the stage. There was a kind of a musical theme for each act, and the band and the singer would kind of riff off of what was happening in the show, and it was kind of electro swing
In French.
It was pretty awesome.
Like quirky and sort of awkward, very Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, great music, very, very lively, very energetic.
Yeah, it sounded like there was a much bigger band, but it was like 5 of them.
I would have
Yeah.
gone to see just the band.
Yeah, yeah,
I
they
never
were-
saw them performing while everybody was on stage. I didn't even know where they were.
I saw the violinist on the side once. He was up on that platform right next to the pillar that we were at by
And
the
the
fish,
singer-
above the fish, I think.
Yeah, the singer went up on that
Yeah.
platform too at one point.
But I could barely see her
Yeah.
from our position.
Yeah,
I would
but
have loved to.
I didn't know where the rest of the
I would
band
have
was.
watched the band for a set.
Yeah. Well, they're behind us in one of the pictures that we took and put on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come out on the stage at the beginning of the second act with the fog machine. So they're kind of in the background of the picture that Quinn took of us.
But yeah, they were excellent. We're gonna put one of their tracks up in our break.
Right, because they had a deal where you could get the program and a CD and
A bag and
information about the show, which was important because I wouldn't have gotten half of any of this without the program. Like, I don't know what's going on. All they're speaking is French, I think.
yeah,
Some of it is French, and some of it I think is just nonsense.
maybe.
Yeah, French.
Facts.
And they had a little woman,
Oh yeah,
a very little tiny woman.
There was a big guy with kind of he had like a big boiler for his belly, like a mechanical
Yeah.
He had a name, Mr. Microcosmos.
Mr. Microcosmos. And he, at one point, opens this door in the top of his belly, and this small, elegant woman comes out. and she's wearing like an evening dress and a fur wrap, and she's waving to the crowd and speaking flawlessly beautiful French, and it was very interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea. She must have been, what, 2 feet, maybe, if that?
Yeah,
You know,
she was tiny.
crazy small, but it was beautiful. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and I know at one point, I mean, she was like sitting down. I don't know if it was in the same belly or something else, but she was sitting down in something like talking on a phone, and you can kind of hear her, but she's talking French, so I have no idea what she was saying. But
I think it was very unprofessional of her to make
get on the
phone
phone,
calls to her friends in the middle of the show.
but I think I noticed they did stuff like that. I mean, there's all these like I don't know if they're call them non sequiturs, but stuff that would happen. But I think they were doing that to distract us from the stage crew changing the set on the stage. You know, it's like look over here while don't look at this people.
Yeah,
thing.
maybe.
Because every once in a while I'd be looking at this. I would see the stage crew, but then I realized, oh, they were doing something over there. Then I should have been watching that instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was excellent show, beautiful lights, beautiful sound, beautiful. It was just it was awesome.
I'd never seen a Cirque du Soleil show in person live before.
Neither have I. Well, like I said, it's my first one.
I watched them on I think YouTube or some streaming.
I think the
which was
closest
cool.
I've seen was like one of the cruises we went on a long time ago with how the deck had that one video screen where they would show stuff. I think they showed a Cirque du Soleil on that, but I didn't see the whole thing. There was just some funny clowns doing things.
Funny clowns.
French clowns. So
Yeah.
not like American creepy clowns.
Elegant French clowns.
But that's the closest I've seen to seeing an actual Cirque du Soleil.
And we've been to Vegas, and we didn't see it there.
True.
Well, we should
We are
do
missing
that.
out.
We need to go back to Vegas again.
Yes,
for
we
whatever
do.
reasons. There's all kinds of things going on in Vegas that we need to see.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, start making plans.
Okay.
It doesn't even have to be steampunk, but we'll turn it into steampunk anyway because that's what we do.
Meanwhile,
I don't know
if
how.
you're in Canada or near,
It's headed your way.
headed your way, the temperature's warming up, maybe. You can wear your shorts. Do Canadians even have shorts? I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know what they wear in
No,
Canada.
dress steampunk. Go see Kurious dressed in your steampunk finest.
They will love you.
not regret it.
Or at least dress up.
Yeah.
You know,
put on
you're
a
going
suit,
out
put
to
on a nice dress.
You're
yeah.
going out to theater. So show some class. I don't know what Houstonians, man. They were just like dressed as their regular bumming around outfits.
Yeah.
Rumble, rumble.
Kids these days.
Yep, kids these days.
All right.
Wow. Wow.
How are we doing on time?
We are at 46 minutes, so I
Oh,
think we
my
should just skip to etiquette,
Oh, all right.
Yeah, yes.
All right.
Etiquette.
and
Etiquette.
then we'll take a break, and then we'll go into the calendar.
Okay.
So what do we got for etiquette today?
Letters of introduction.
Okay.
Letters of introduction should never be given except to persons well known to the person introducing them and addressed to those only who have long-standing friendship for the writer. Amongst persons but slightly acquainted, such letters are not only foolish but positively dangerous, as you may thus give your countenance to those who will take advantage of your carelessness to bring you into a mortifying, if not disgraceful, positions. Even among friends of long standing, they should be given very cautiously and sparingly, as it is a great responsibility to send to your friend a visitor who may prove disagreeable, and you have no right whatever to call upon comparative strangers to extend hospitality or courtesy to your friends. Letters of introduction should always be short and concise as possible. If you wish to send any information to your friends about their visitor, send it in a separate letter by mail. The utmost brevity is of importance in the letter of introduction, as it is usually read in the presence of the party introduced, and the pause must necessarily be awkward. You may, in a letter of introduction, use a few words of warm, cordial feeling toward your friend, but praise of any kind is in bad taste, as it would be at a personal introduction. This rule, however, does not apply to letters introducing applicants for favor, office, or position, which latter come more strictly under the head of letters of recommendation rather than merely letters of introduction. Letters of introduction must be left unsealed invariably. They should be folded and addressed like any other letter, but it is a gross breach of etiquette to prevent the bearer from reading what you may have said of him to your friend. It is optional with the bearer to seal such letters before delivery, but it is customary to leave them open. A letter of introduction should not, unless circumstances make it absolutely unavoidably, be delivered in person. It should be sent with the card of the person introduced to the person to whom it is addressed by a servant. If the person receiving it should then call at once or send a written invitation to his house, and the person introduced may then call in person. If, however, the stay in the city is very short, these formalities may be omitted, and the person introduced call in person, sending in his letter and card by a servant.
Okay. So
we're talking about not the mail, but you send your manservant from your house over to your friend's house with that letter of introduction.
Right.
Knock on his door. His butler comes out. They
hand it over.
Swap. And
yes.
And this is before the actual guy who you're trying to introduce to gets there.
So would they send a message back saying he will be accepted, or
right.
you just led to guess?
Well, then it would be upon the duty of your friend to whom you've sent the letter of introduction to send an invitation to the person that you're trying to introduce, because now they've been introduced. So then it's proper for them to say, we're sending a card to request your presence at our salon this evening, or would you please come over and play whist with our family or whatever.
Okay. Why
didn't they just use email?
Right.
This is complicated.
we can adapt that to a dating service. I was like, hey, I like my friend. Let me introduce you to my friend.
Because dating isn't complicated enough as it is.
Well, but it helps break the ice to have someone introduce you to somebody else.
Well, that's true.
Right. But like you said, it's very, if your friend if you send a letter of introduction to a friend and say, Thax, I would like you to extend hospitality to my friend Flavio, who is visiting your city. And then if Flavio shows up and acts like an ass, that's on me.
Never trust her again. Yeah.
That's on me. Thax can then be irritated with me and perhaps even cut me dead in company and never acknowledge my presence or invite me to anything again because I sent this bore of a Flavio to his house where he was abused.
Not darken my door again.
So yes, only some letters of introduction for people with whom you have good acquaintance and can vouch steadfastly for their character.
It makes total sense to me. Except, we don't have servants, so I guess I have nobody to send an invitation with or the introduction with.
Flavio, you need a manservant.
I know. I tried to get my cat to do it, but he just won't do it.
Everyone should have a reliable manservant.
Everyone. Yeah, my roommate won't even do it either. I try.
I've met him. He's not a very good manservant.
No, he's not. Yeah, he does the yard sometimes, but that's about it. Wow. Okay, so that's etiquette for letters of introduction. We're going to take a break, and we're going to put on a little bit of music from the Cirque Soleil, Kurious, and then we'll come back with the calendar. We're back.
We're back.
That was music from Cirque du Soleil Kurious. That was fun.
Awesome.
All right, so we got a lot of things going on. We're in the last weekend of April, so we're going to go from here to the end of May. First up is this Friday on the 28th in Killeen. So you Killeen steampunks, there's something going on near you. It's called, on April 28th, it's called Steampunk Beauty Battle. Friday at 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., so it's not going to take all night. The Salon at KCC, 1320 Stagecoach Road, Killeen, Texas. And this is what they're saying on their details. The KISD cosmetology students have the challenge of creating a fantasy steampunk look to wow our audience. This is going to be awesome. It says so right there. I'm reading it myself.
Cool.
So apparently there's a beauty school out there who has they're going to be doing steampunk makeup and stuff. So, and they're inviting you out there to witness it and be wowed by it. So if you're not doing anything Friday night, there's something you can do in Killeen. And what else is happening this weekend, Thax?
Well, the very next day, assuming you are in or near the Austin area, the 2017 Beauty Dachshund Races, Buda Dachshund Races.
Beauty and Buda.
This is going to be fun.
In Buda, Texas, the 2017 Buda Wiener Dog Races, April 29th and 30th. Start making plans to attend. The forms are online at www.budalions.com for more information, or I can click on it and get it to you right here. Buda Lions present the 20th annual Buda Wiener Dog Races.
They've been doing this a long time.
Wienertopia.
Wienertopia.
There are first, second, and third place winners. There's a cook-off, a bake-off, a Buda Bee. I don't know what that is. And a pet parade. So there's also arts and crafts booths and fajita cook-offs. And there's applications for all these things, but I'm pretty sure you probably need to have those in by now since that's this weekend.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's going to be a blast. And we are going to be there. We're going to be dressed to the nines.
Erika has told me about wiener dog races in the past. They sound hilarious.
So
sort of like Best in Show, but less
less serious.
Less serious. and you know, going out dressed as steampunks for the races is perfect.
Yes, definitely.
Especially since they're wiener dog races. I'll be making a few side bets. You know,
Yes.
It's $5 gate admission for adults and kids over 12. Kids under 12 get in free. And
It just sounds like a great way to spend the day.
yeah,
So
it's going to be
join
a good
us.
time.
Dress for the races and join us.
And Lions Club is always putting their money towards local good cause charities. So you will be
I think this is
supporting.
for a dog rescue charity.
So you will be supporting a good cause.
Rescue a wiener.
If you are staying in town on the 29th, you may have the opportunity to see Sky Candy. Sky Candy is Austin's local aerial gym. They are presenting the Surrealist show at the Vortex Theater. It's Saturday, April 29th at 2 p.m. at the Vortex Yard. It is a show that is inspired by the works of Surrealist artists such as Salvador Dali, Joan Miro, and Rene Magritte. This circus show will leave the audience questioning the lines between human and inhuman, dream and reality, featuring performances from the Sky Candy Studio Company as well as select student performers prepared to see circus in an excitingly bizarre fashion, both in the air and all around you as performers interact with the audience and fly through the sky above. It's an all-ages show. Doors at 1, show at 2 p.m. Limited seating is available via pre-sale tickets. The remaining tickets will be general admission with seating available on a first-come, first-served basis. A VIP table for 2 is $70, a bargain, considering how much we paid for Cirque du Soleil. General admission, $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. And you can get those at http://surrealistshow.brownpapertickets.com at the Vortex.
We went and saw Sky Candy one time that I remember. They were doing the Time Machine.
Time Machine.
Sky Candy. That was fun. I liked that. I enjoyed it.
And it was a bit surreal as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing a pattern, a theme for this episode. Surrealists and aerialists.
Perfect.
Bears. Oh my.
Oh my. All All right. After that, we go into the middle of the week of May 3rd, which happens to be my birthday.
Whee!
And I have the week off. I'm hoping to have some fun. So I'm probably going to be going to this. On May 3rd, Captain Burton's Fun Time Sideshow Circus. It is at Elysium, downtown Austin in Red River. So it's basically going to be a freak show. Doors open at 10 p.m. Show starts at 11 p.m. There will be some of the most amazing vendors, and the show itself will be like no other show you have seen before.
Unless you've seen a show before.
Unless you've seen this show before. Sideshow, burlesque, and much more. That's what the details say on Facebook here.
Sounds great.
But I'm assuming they're going to do stuff like, I don't know, sword soloing and doing stuff with,
I think
poking himself.
Captain Burton performed at Steampunk November last fall.
Did he?
Yeah,
I missed
so
that
he
show.
does a lot of your classic geek tricks.
Okay. Like sticking something to your tongue and
that sort of thing. So I didn't stay.
Yeah, that makes you
show.
squeamish, I know. But we've seen these shows before in the past, and like I said, this is May 3rd on my birthday. So I believe I'm going to be going to this. So come on out, say happy birthday to me, watch the show, buy me a drink for my birthday.
Milking it, man, milking it.
Why not? And so after that, what do we got? We got the next weekend.
I'm showing on May 7th, Sunday, at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., Wimberley Makers Fair. So if you are in the Wimberley or San Marcos area, they've got a new starting maker fair out there at 704 Farm to Market Road, 2325. Wimberley's Stitch Studio is proud to offer the first Wimberley Maker Fair for artists to come and participate in an evening of fun on the beautiful studio grounds. This event is to encourage the growth of Texas artists, crafters, growers, and musicians in a family-friendly environment. We will have live music, fun activities for the whole family, such as face painting, games, and more. So it sounds like a very, very local-centric, capital F fair flavor to their maker fair.
I've always managed to miss all these maker fairs that you bring up, so I never really know what happens at them. You've been to a few of them. There's booths of people, the local artists and stuff, and they make stuff, obviously. And
right. Some of them are there to show off their craft and show you how they built stuff, and some of them have a very participatory, like they actually give you stuff to learn to do this or that,
like a class almost kind of thing, or
right. Very, very simple forms. And then there's others that are actually selling the things that they made,
right?
Artists and vendors, or kits for making whatever it might be. Electronics, saw a lot of that in Austin. So Arduino kits. So some
3D printers.
Yeah, the 3D printing community, robot community. It just depends on what the individual at any particular booths.
Okay. And in case anybody's wondering why we're bringing up makers fairs, is because steampunkers, we're makers. A lot of us, we like to make our own stuff. So this is an opportunity to go out there and see what's being made, how to make something new, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of maker fairs, there's another one coming up.
Yes, May 13th and 14th, there's a maker fair in Austin at the Palmer Events Center. Our friend Daniel Bennis, the Steampunk Edison, has a booth at the local Austin Maker Fair pretty much every year, and he has actual items that belong to Thomas Edison.
Wow, yeah.
And
they don't belong to him anymore.
Well, obviously, they belong to Daniel.
I would call those artifacts.
Definitely artifacts.
And he has working steam engine models and demonstrations of how electricity works, Van de Graaff generators, Tesla coils, all kinds of fun science.
We got to interview him last year, and since then he's been interviewed or is about to be interviewed by KUT's, what's it called? There's a Texas podcast that's interviewing him that he's going to be like on the real radio.
Right. But we got him first.
That's right.
So May 13th and 14th, Maker Fair Austin at Palmer Events Center. There are tickets available at austin.makerfair.com. It is a 2-day family-friendly event to make, craft, learn, invent, play, and be inspired. Please come out and support your local maker community and get inspired.
Okay, so also that was May. What day was that again?
May 13th and 14th.
May 13th, right. Also on May 13th, we have our own little personal steampunk gathering called Monster Hunting Expedition. This is put on by a friend of ours in our little Austin Steampunk Society. We are going to meet at the state capitol May 13th at 7 p.m. We're meeting at night? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a night.
Okay, so you can go to Maker's Fair during the day, and then later on, come on and hunt some Pokemon with us.
That sounds fun.
We're going to be dressing up, and I'm going to be dressing up in my hunting outfit. I have a little pith helmet and
And you got a brand new linen coat.
Linen coat. And I got a nice little
Thrifting
safari
in
outfit.
Houston is awesome.
Yep. I got a nice little safari outfit I'll be wearing. Perfect for hunting Pokemon. So we'll be meeting at the state capitol May 13th, 7 p.m. And it looks like we're going to be breaking up around 10 p.m. So it's not going to be all night, obviously.
Comic Palooza?
Comic Palooza is also that same weekend.
It is a busy weekend.
That is a crazy
In
weekend.
Houston, May 12th through 14th, so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Comic Palooza 2017. Attendees will have access to sessions covering popular trends and obscure topics, a film festival, game competitions, a cosplay contest, live art auction, and much more. The exhibit hall is filled with specialty retailers for comics, popular artists, and exciting games. In addition, the Makerspace and NASA Showcase feature innovative technologies from today and years past, while the kids area is both fun and educational. Celebrity guests from our favorite movies, television, and comic series, or literature answer questions and share their stories. They engage audiences with Q&A sessions, sign autographs, and take photographs with fans. I don't know who the celebrity guests are. I do see that George W. Paget, the writer of Addleton Heights, which I reviewed last week,
Okay, yeah.
seems to
He's gonna be
have
there?
shown an interest. I'm not sure if he's going, and he's got the interested button on the Facebook, so he might be going.
He might just be going as a fan.
And our friend Drew Hayen will be doing several panels on various topics of interest within the steampunk community, such as costuming
Right.
on a budget, which is very important.
Gentleman's costuming, I think,
Yes.
specifically. And that's just one of like a half dozen panels that he is putting together.
And some of them are actual steampunk specific.
Right. And I know that Drew does like to speak and is entertaining. So that's definitely going to be a good jumping off point for new steampunks or just to meet and greet your fellow steampunks. Also, our local Professor Russ Argo will be DJing the cosplay dance, I guess, Saturday evening. So I know
He's a good DJ. So
it's not a
steampunk
steampunk focused part of the convention, but Argo is our man, so we're giving a shout out to him. He'll be working there, and I don't know what else you might come across at Comic Palooza. It is a big show. It fills the George R. Brown Convention Center.
Yep, we've been there a few times. It is huge.
Definitely worth going if you've never been before.
All right, what else?
All right, we have on May 21st. This is happening up in Grapevine, Texas, which I believe is somewhere in the middle of Fort Worth and Dallas. It's called the Fort Worth Photo Fest, Grapevine Vintage Railroad. It's not necessarily a steampunk thing, but it sounds like something cool to dress up for and go, and because it's going to be, let's see, let me read the details here. Come on, ride the train. Our final event, the 2017 Fort Worth Photo Fest, takes you along the rails from Grapevine, Texas to the historic Fort Worth Stockyards for a fun and leisurely photo walk. Perfect for the whole family. We have reserved the entire Grapevine Vintage Railroad, so you'll be in very good company with other shutterbugs just like you. A perfect experience for railroad enthusiasts, portrait photographers, and ideal for family images. So I figured if you're dressed up in nice steampunk outfits, you'll look good in front of those trains.
Come on, ride the train.
People are going to want to take your pictures, and they'll probably really enjoy it. So, because we've gone on the train here out of not Austin
Cedar
exactly,
Park.
but Cedar Park in our steampunk outfits, and people seem to enjoy seeing that. So that's why I decided to mention that one.
It's a good
Photo
thing,
opportunity.
good photo opportunity. Lots and lots of pictures. And if you want to take a trip into the wilds of Oklahoma,
Some of our listeners are in the Dallas area. They're
That's
closer.
true.
We have listeners in Oklahoma.
We do. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Hello, Oklahoma.
Hello, Joe. We talked to him
Oh yes.
online this week. So yeah, he's in Oklahoma. Tell him all about it.
All right. Yes. There is a Pioneer and Steampunk Festival May 26th and 27th in Poto, Oklahoma.
Poto, right.
Yes, the fantastic downtown Poto. This is not your typical old timers festival. Not this one. We've added some spice to the mix. The Poto Pioneer and Steampunk Festival is coming soon. For all the steampunks out there, gear up and get your costumes and contraptions ready. For everyone else, be sure and dress the part. We want to see cowboys, outlaws, Choctaws, and Victorians roaming around the streets of downtown Poto. Hosted by historic Downtown Poto Incorporated, this 2-day festival will feature everything from carriage rides to bizarre contraptions.
Wow, I think I want to go.
Yeah, road trip.
Road trip. How far is the Poto from here? We'll figure that out.
Hell of a long way.
Long way. Yeah.
It's
Just
okay.
5 or 6
Just getting out of Texas is going to take a long time.
Getting out of Texas is most of the trip. But I have friends and family up that way, so it is maybe worth a go.
Maybe. So I think that's everything happening.
Yep.
Although there is one couple things I want to mention that's happening on Kickstarter.
Oh,
Real quick
okay.
here. Brass, the Industrial Revolution. It's a game. Apparently, it's going to be. This one's called Brass Birmingham, and this is part 2. There was Brass Lancashire before that. It is a steampunk type game. It looks like it's a trading game. But I watched a little video on there, and it looked awesome. It's a little bit out of my price point, but I know a lot of people like there who have no problem spending money on games.
Settlers of Catan trading? I mean, just
watch the video. Something like that. You're buying. You're trying to make your empire of trading brass and this and that and everything. But it looked good. It looked really good.
Okay.
It caught my eye anyway, and it's really good. I like the graphics anyway. They made a really good graphics and a really good video, which really caught my eye. There's another one that's happening in Kickstarter that I put out there. Oh, it was the Alpha Bots.
Oh, they had a reading last weekend.
But now they're on Kickstarter.
Oh.
A whimsical robotic steampunk journey through the alphabet with over 26 color robot illustrations to spark imaginations of all ages. They are on Kickstarter now. Apparently, that the signing or reading that you said was a preview for this.
Okay. All right.
So that they are now on Kickstarter, so you have an opportunity to get a look at the book or buy the book, and I will put links up to that as well.
So then that Kickstarter just started.
Yeah, they have 27 days to go. So I mean, you got plenty of time to jump in there and get to this Kickstarter. And the other one, the Brass. Let me see how much time is left on that one, real quick.
Well, it's met its goal, so at this point you're making
That's true.
Pre-order.
Yeah, so it met its goal, so that's good. You still have 17 days to go to get to look at Brass and see if it's something for you. I mean,
they're apparently pretty popular.
Yeah, it's a really popular game. The first one that they came out with, this is a reprint of the first game, and now they're kickstarting the second game. But you have an opportunity to purchase the reprint of the first game as well. You don't have to get them both if you don't want them both.
CA, that's like what, Canadian dollars?
Possibly. I just wanted to do a quick shout out on those because every once in a while we do mention Kickstarters, and I thought I'd do that again. So everything that I know of going on till the end of May. Anything else? I think we got it all.
That is a lot.
This month.
It's going to be a month.
Yes.
It's going to be time. But that's good. We've been wanting to do more adventures. And the more opportunities, the better.
Yes.
Thank you very much for listening. And once again, you can find us on Facebook, Texas Steampunk Connection.
Give us a like. Give us a comment if you have anything to say. We appreciate all comments or feedback we can get.
Yep.
Yeah. Until next time, right?
Yep. Until next time.
Mind your gauges.
Thanks for listening. This has been the Texas Steampunk Connection. Opening music was The Texas Steer Rag by George Botsford, recorded in 1909.
Please like us on Facebook at Texas Steampunk Connection.
Where you will find the links to all the topics we talked about in this episode.
Until next time,
Mind your gauges.